Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The time is 7 o'clock. All visitors must leave the backstage area at this time.
Well, I'd always been interested in making a film about the dance world because I was a dancer since I was 6 years old, and it was my passion.
Sony Pictures Classics presents a new film
Action.
That examines the everyday lives of dancers.
Beautiful.
In a rare and realistic look
Great.
inside the company.
All right, cut. Thank you. We're going to do another one.
So when it finally came down to the list of directors, I said, well, there's Robert Altman, and moving on to reality.
And she got Bob. And anybody that can do that, you have to tip your hat to.
I didn't really have any experience. I didn't really know a lot about dance. And I thought, well, why shouldn't I go into new territory? So when I agreed to do it, I was really walking into the fog.
From the Monkees.
Well, you ask any actor, they love him. And he's a master. It's just great to work with a man who is so sure of what he wants.
Just go, because I'll cut it then. I've never done a film like this before. Nashville would be the closest thing. All the singers were actually actors. In this, the dancers are the actors.
Making a movie.
All right, let's shoot this.
And he's a brilliant choreographer too, actually, because he really moves the scenes and there's something happening all the time.
Get it over here.
Put it up. The things that intrigued him about the dance world just made me more excited because what he wanted was reality. What he wanted was the holes in the tights and, the dancers in pain and to really get into the world.
And stop, please. Are you working injured?
I have a neck spasm.
I
should be okay.
I don't think you should work injured.
I couldn't have the dancers acting like actors, and so the actors had to look like real people rather than actors.
I play a chef who works at a very hip Chicago restaurant called Marche. I think I provide a escape for Nev's character, Rai, from the intense dance world.
You scared me. Hi.
Hi. I really think I need a bath, though.
No, I don't think so. I'm just
really
gonna... No! Get out. Go. Although he's, I guess, one of the it guys now. He's just an artist, and it's not a massive role, but he's an artist, and so he wants to step into it for a while.
Uh-huh, very good.
And I admire that.
I'd do anything with Robert Altman. Because of the way he's making this movie, which is extremely realistic and feels like we're not doing scenes, he's just catching life.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't go on stage.
Nev's participation in this is quite phenomenal. She could be a member of the Joffrey. There's no question about that. She was here working with this dance company, with the Joffrey, all the time.
I didn't want this to be a story about a young woman who's in the chorus and wants to make it and does and becomes a principal dancer.
And she's not the star of this, per se. The story isn't really just about her. The star of this film is the Joffrey Ballet Company of Chicago.
Oh, John.
Hey.
What are you doing here?
Actually, I was just hoping if you had any room, I could stay here just for, a little bit, a couple days.
I'm booked.
You can put me on the floor. I got my sleeping bag. Just,
Oh, man.
just for a couple days.
All right, come on in.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
The lives of the people that I meet and talk to and see really inform the material.
So she went all out and got to know all the dancers and really got into their stories.
I came and sort of lived with the Joffrey for a while, for a couple of weeks. I would sit in the studio and watch them work and went, their parties. Slowly, the film began to construct itself. It became an ensemble piece about the reality of dancers.
Why do you always do this, babies? You always get phony on me. You see, it's not the steps, babies. It's what's inside that really counts. That's when you really begin to soar.
Well, Malcolm is insane and fantastically insane. His energy is just massive.
I'm watching you saying, who is that up there? Didn't I say that? You know, I've always believed in you. Even when others, they weren't quite so sure, but always. Well, I think that he's a very passionately in love with the company and with each and every one of the dancers. You know, that's his life.
Okay, what happened? I mean, you're all so pretty. You know how I hate pretty.
The other side is he's rather gruff. He knows what he wants. He doesn't suffer fools lightly.
And when you make those exits, you know, you hit the wall. I want you to move out and hit the wall. You're not doing that. You're looking like you've got a load in your pants.
But I love him. He's a great character.
The company is being photographed in high-definition video.
This is picture's up to take.
Which allows for the use of multiple cameras and extended takes, creating vibrant dance sequences.
It's my first experience working with high-definition video, and when Bob suggested it, I was thrilled with the idea. If I can do it with anybody, then I should do it with Bob, because he allows things to be pushed to the extreme. Watching the dance is such a spine-tingling experience for me, especially seeing it on this high-definition monitor at close range. It's like I'm living the experience.
It's new territory for me. I don't think I could go back and approach film the way I did before I had done this. I think this is going to forever change me.
Ah, it's a blast. It makes me want to do every film this way.
I really look forward to people getting to see a piece of what I love.
Bob's right, you know, and he keeps saying, I think we got lightning in a bottle, and I think we have.
Okay. Good night, darlings. I'll see you tomorrow.